Hello guys, today I'm going to explain to you how to add an experience to Bokun, and you can follow up with me. First you'll need a login and password, like an email and password. You'll just give it to me and I will create an account for you. So when you sign in, you will go to products and experiences, or simply from here, experiences. Then you will go to create or manage your experience. You will find here some experiences. I have some here for test, like I have an experience here for test. Here is what comes after you add everything. This is what the final looks like, but I will just follow one by one. Here I have the title. The title of the program will be Tbilisi walking tour, and the product code, in case we will have a code for each program that we are having, but in our case we don't have codes for our programs. Also, right here we are not gonna touch the attraction or event. We will be just dealing with the tour or activity. This is what we're going to do, and here is the private experience. Is when you have the tour to be private. Let's say only one car with relatives will go in there, so you will need to enable this option. If this tour will be for many different people from different places, you will need to disable it. So for this tour I'm gonna just disable it and press continue. In here, this is the duration for the tour, and the city tour takes 9 hours that we're having. So I press continue. I just added 9 hours here and continue. Here are the categories and themes, and for each tour you need to specify what kind of categories are there. So here in this one I just read all of them and choose that it has city tours, walking tours and sightseeing. And the theme is, most of the cases will be outdoor and group friendly. If it's a honeymoon, maybe it will be romantic or a private experience. If it's a private tour, or couples, or a beach if they will go to Batumi or something. Then we'll press continue. Here's the location. It can be different. In my case I have a Tbilisi tour, so I have Tbilisi, Georgia, and this will be the location. You can have a different location, let's say Gudauri for a Gudauri tour, or Kakheti, sorry, like Sirnari, and you just add Sirnari here, but in my case I will just add Tbilisi and save and continue. The time zone, I usually like to override the usual time zone and choose Tbilisi in case if anything happens, so it's saved here, and continue. And here's one of the most important parts, is the itinerary. You need to fill this carefully. I have the old city, Abana Tubani, and then lunch, then Shardeni, Shaudeli Street and Rustaveli. This is how the program goes, and this is the sequence of the program. I will show you how I added them. Here's the title, which the title of the place, and the excerpt is where you have all the places mentioned there, and the description of the place. It needs to be a full description, so that the guest knows exactly what is going to happen. And here you mention the address, and when you mention the address, I will show you. When you mention the address, Metehi Street, Tbilisi, Georgia, it will show on the map, and when it shows on the map you can just move this one along to the mentioned place and then submit. Here are also some pictures that you would like this place to have. So for my case it's all Tbilisi, so I chose this picture and press submit. And the following will happen with all of them. Like in every place you need to add the title, the places in this title, and then the description, the place on the map, and then the picture which this title has. After you fill this one, you press save and continue, and then you will have a short description and the long description. The long description needs to have all the places that you are visiting, what's gonna happen. And here this one, I don't think that it has a character limit, so you need to add as much information as you want, and you press save and continue. These are the photos that you need to add. I just happen to add 4 pictures. You can add as much as you want, and continue. The videos also, if you have some videos, continue. Till now we have reached to this place. We have finished all that above, and the inclusion will be whatever your program includes. So this program includes just the entry fees. Some programs will have the full surcharge, or the parking fees, or the many different places, national park entrance if we have park, or food and drinks if we have food and drinks. You just see what is included in the program and you add it here. If something is not mentioned up there, you can add all of them again right here. You can add also the unordered list right here, or the ordered list, however you want to mention this one. This is up to you. And here the language of the program. So just for this one, I will add 3 languages just for the purpose of explaining, but usually we have English and Russian only, and you need to remember this, that we have English and Russian only. I'm adding Arabic for only explaining. If we have any audio guide or headphones, we need to check this one. Reading material like maps or catalogs, you need to also mention this one, and then mention the language that you're having, like here. The same that you did to the live guide experience. And here the exclusion, you need to mention all the things that are excluded, and if you don't find them right there, you can add them here, also the same way you added in the inclusion. These things, know before you go what to bring, are information for the guest. If there's something important that you want the guest to know, you would need to mention it here, and maybe more details there. And here the physical difficulty level, I have it as moderate. It's not easy because they will need to walk for a long time. They only have a break for lunch for 1.5 hours, so it's moderate, not challenging or demanding. Some tours are very challenging or demanding, or very extreme. I don't know if we have extreme tours in Georgia, but hiking tours are usually one of these two, or if it's hiking for maybe long time, you will have to have the extreme here. After you mention this one, you press continue, and again, what to bring is also, if you think that the guest needs to know what to bring, you should mention it here. The tickets, this I have set up earlier. I put all our company details. I just will show you how the ticket looks like, so that you know what will the guest be having and what details it will be on his ticket. I will show it right here. Give me a second. So here's the ticket. As you see, our company details are right here, and the ticket information is here, like the guest name and his email, phone and address. Of course, this is just for test purposes. It's not real. Here's the name of the tour, standard rate, and the time of the tour and the date. And if there are more than one packs, here it writes packs 1 adults. If it's a child, it will print here child. First name, last name, date of birth, and language. These are the things that I have put as mandatory, they need to mention. Here also the same, if it's a child it will be mentioned the child, and the invoice, what they have paid. So this is what the guest needs to know, and this what will be sent to him in case if he confirms. It was just a quick look at what the ticket will look like. I'll get back now to our Bokun page. So I'm sorry. So here you can have one ticket per participant. As we saw that we have 2 participants in this ticket, we can have a ticket for each one of them, but in our case we don't need to do this. The one who reserved, he gets to get one ticket with all the details of his reservation, and then you didn't need a barcode format or change anything. You just press continue. Here you will have some extras. In case you have some extras, you just mention them. If not, and nothing additional will be added to your tour, no any cost, it will be save and continue. Also for translation you will need to have save and continue. Here's the advanced option. Don't really go in there, it's not it's for advanced things. Here it says it's if your experience is a combo of 2 other experience, or you have this experience from some other place. We don't usually allow booking with customized start, like the guest needs to choose from where he starts, and we are not gonna have this one. Just the keywords that you will need to add, and here I added city tour and all Tbilisi. I can add also some other ones like Tbilisi, let's say. I added and press enter, and it's added right there. I press save and continue, and by this I have finished the experience part, and I have created the first part that I need. Then I will go to meeting and pickup. I'll choose the first one for now, and then I will show you how to add a place and save it so that you can use it for later. I'll press continue. In here I have already Riri Park, but I can add another place. Let's add let's say Rustavelli Avenue. I will add here Rustavelli Avenue, and it's right here, Rustavelli Avenue, Tbilisi, Georgia, and postcode. And here I need to as soon as I write Rustavelli Avenue, it comes a map right here, and in this map I can zoom in and I can decide where I can have my guest, or I can meet my friend at, my guests at, and I can choose here right in front of the parliament and press submit. In this situation I have 2 meeting points, but I don't need them. I just need one, and in my programs it's mentioned Retail Park. I will show you also how it was done. I wrote here Retail Park. I wrote the address. It came on the map. I chose where exactly in Retail Park they will meet, and then I press submit. So I don't need this one. I will delete it, and I will press continue. So in here I finished how they will meet. Now I need to know how they will get dropped off, and I have some options. If I don't choose this option, like the drop-off service, they are gonna get dropped at the last place which is mentioned in the itinerary. So I'll just leave them right there. in the Rustavelli street because I don't have the drop-off option. But if I will enable the drop-off option, then I can have other options. This one, it means that each guest will decide where he should get dropped off. This is not usually convenient because we might have 6 or 7 guests that they want to get dropped at many different places. So if you allow this one, you need to know that you have to drop them at exactly where they mentioned. In this one, you need to, if you enable it, you will say that I want my dropping off to be the same exact place as the pickup place. If they are the same, you need to enable it. If they are different, as in this program, you need to disable it. And right here, I have many different places. And if my place it doesn't exist in here, I will go to view locations in this group. Here, right here, view all pickup places, and here we came to this point that we are adding a location. So in order for us to add a group, right here we are selecting a group of locations. So in order for us to add a group, we need to have first a location in there. So I will add a location. I have just deleted Rustavelli and I will create it from the beginning. Here I will write the title of the location, and it's not a station, port, or airport, or hotel, so I'll just add other. The label will be Tbilisi pickup. I can have as many labels as I want, and in the future I can search with them. And right here I can write the place. Again, I will say Rustavelli Avenue and Shota Rustavelli Avenue. It will open again right here. Then I will choose the place. Let's say I want it in front of the parliament, so I will press right here and I will press submit after entering the postal code. So now it's added here, and I can now add a group. Now I can add another group and name it Rustavelli Avenue. Here the naming of the group, it should be decided on all the places that are in this group. So if I will make a group which says pickup places in Tbilisi, my place, it should be or all the locations which will be in this group should be in Tbilisi. In my case, I need to add only one item, which is called Rustavelli Avenue. So I'll just write Rustavelli Avenue, and this right here is how to select my thing, my location. Usually you will need this one, hand-picked only, or you can pick up by the labels if you have the correct labels, but I will just hand pick them up, and I will just say Rustavelli Avenue and press submit. And right here I have another group. So right now I can just go here and add this group. So I will do this for refresh, and my group is still here. I will select this group and select other groups, and in this case I have mentioned that I want to drop off service. I don't want the guests to have to choose where they gonna get dropped off, and then I will not drop them at the same place or the same location. I disable this one, and then I go right here and add a new place if it doesn't exist. Then I save and continue. So now I go to the third part, which is the availability. The availability, we will usually have the date and time, and this date and time, it will specify a specific time that the tour will start in and the specific date. So you press continue. We will not deal with the other ones usually. In the booking cutoff is how many days or how long you need till the last booking to be available. So in this case I chose 1 day before start time, and I will have just maximum 1 day that I can prepare in. So if someone comes before the tour with 12 hours, he will not be able to book, or 1 hour he will not be able to book, because some people might come in the last minute and just want to book, and this prevent them from booking. I can have 1 day, so let's say if this was Sunday or something, I still have 1 day to prepare everything, and this give us time. So I press continue. The capacity is how much, like what is the maximum limit for this tour, and in our case it's unlimited, because if there are 8 people we can have 2 cars, or like if they are even bigger we can have a sprinter. So we don't have a limit for our group. And the starting time is when the tour will start. I have the tour starts only at 9 a.m. but for explaining purposes I will add another one at 3 p.m. and it's right like this. You add 3 and here you choose p.m. It's the same duration, and I'll press submit. So now I have 2 starting times, and I'll press save and continue. In here the opening hours are when the customer can book this tour. So the customer can book at any time if this is disabled, but if it's enabled you need to choose when he will be able to book. So let's say on Monday he can book from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. which is a very small time, or open 24 hours. In case if we don't want our guests to book on Sunday, I will enable all of them and only leave Sunday disabled, and here open 24 hours. So our guests will not be able to book this program on Sunday, but as long as I have 1 day break, so I can just disable this option and go next. This is one of the most important options, which is the calendar. So in the availability calendar you can add new rules. So I will just show availability, and right here I don't have any availability. So here I have no availability right here, and I'll just add availability, and as you see I have availability for the 9 a.m. starting time and the 3 p.m. starting time. I can color this rule with orange, and here I will check all the types of rules that I can add. This one, it happens on a selected date, and this one we will not be using unless there is an event or something like this. Here it happens between selected dates, and this is what we need. We will usually start from 1 July, from like the summer one, till 1 October, because this one has prices, and then choose all the affected dates, which can be all the days of the week. So my program will be available all the days of the week. This is about the happens between selected dates. This one happens yearly each month, and then you need to specify the month and the dates in this month, or weekly, and then you need to specify the dates of the week, but this will keep going on from today till you specify the end date here. If you don't specify it, so it will be forever. So you can specify it from today till 1 October, and this when it ends. So I usually prefer this one, like happens between selected dates, and I will select, as I did before, from 1 July till 1 October, and I will choose all the dates. The participants, it means the minimum amount of packs, it will be 1, and the starting time, it will be all of them. I can specify which starting time I want this rule to be on, so I can have from 1 July till 1 October, I want this program to start from 9 AM, let's say, and then I want when this one starts, the tour guides will be English and Russian. With the next rule, let's say, I will add 3 PM and Arabic tour guide. So I will add this rule, save, and we will go to 1 July to check if it was added. So here it is. It was added to all of them starting from 1 July. So here in June it doesn't exist, and from 1 July it started to exist. And as you see here, it shows the numbers of booking in each date for this specific tour. You can add another availability, also the same thing, between selected days, and you start with 1 July. It ends in 1 September, or different dates, however you are planning to make it. And then select all the mentioned dates that you need and the selected time, let's say 3 PM, and then we want to start with Arabic. So what we have done already is we have 2 rules. The first one is it starts from 1 July till 1 October. All the dates in it, it will start from 9 AM with English and Russian tour guide. And the other rule will be this one, which was all the dates from 1 July till 1 September. All the dates, it will start from 3 PM with Arabic tour guide. So, and right here, if you want to disable, let's say, one day, if you want to disable this day, or let it be Sunday to be specific, are you sure you want to close this departure? Yes, confirm. So in this case, this one is closed. No one can book in it. And if you want to reopen it, you just press here. And also if you press right here, so nothing. So right here you can modify this one. You can either edit availability rule, and this edits all the rule. It edits everything you have, this orange one right here, and you usually don't want to mess with this one. If you want to edit it from here. Or you can create an exception, and this exception puts the date that you selected right here, and then you say that on this date, let's say we will not have a Russian tour guide, we'll just have an English one, and then press save. And it shows here that it was added another rule to this one specific day, that it doesn't have a Russian tour guide. Now that we have finished the calendar and the availability, we can go to the pricing. So as we continue to the pricing, in the pricing we have a pricing category, and the pricing categories are a new thing, a new tab. So in this pricing category I have 2 categories. One of them is adults and the other is children. You can easily edit them. you can also have to remove this one and make one of them a default. So by default I have the adults as the selected pricing category, and this is just for categories for later on. So right here is the rates, and the rates are or they will be different for each one of the category that we have. So these are the standard rates, and I can have a passenger price per person, and this one needs to be of course online, like enabled. If it's a private tour, then you will disable it and write the price of the whole tour. Pricing categories for available for this rate, so all pricing categories. And this one is as the booking goes higher, the pricing will go less, and then you will need to specify for each one how much the amount will get less. So for the purpose of this video, we are not gonna go into this one, it will take time. And here the start times that offer this rate, all the start times, so all the start times will have the same rates. If they will have different rates, you will need to disable them, and here you will just add another rate. And as we know that English and Russian have a different rate, so we will just have a different rates for both of them. So the minimum passenger is 1, and if we will not have a maximum, so we will leave it as 0. So if it's like nothing, it means it's a maximum as it can get. The drop off selection unavailable, so we don't need to specify this one. And the cancellation policy default description for the rate and rate code. All this is just for specifying what is the standard rate. You can have more than one rate, a standard rate or moderate rate or some other rates. So for this program I just have one rate for everyone. Then I will save and continue, and here the price catalog. In our case we can't change the gel, it will be always gel, but when the client will pay, he will pay in a different currency, because maybe they will not have gel available, they will have USD. Anyways, you will get what's mentioned right here, because I have edited the settings to put the percentage on the guest, so the guest will get the percentage himself, so we don't need to care about it. No commission will be minus from this one. What we will put here is the final one. So we can say that for adults are 40 lari, and for children it will be 20 lari. These rates will be changed later as we get the real rates. We will just edit them, and now we can just save prices and continue. So right here is where I mentioned earlier that this one is where it's mentioned to have the fields in the catalog or the form. So this is simply what you need to know from the guest. You need to know his first name, last name, email, and these kind of things. You just fill them. And here is what you need to know about each passenger. Of course you need to know the date of birth, so we know if he's a child or not, and the language in case you need another, or you should offer another language for these guests. I'll continue. Then what kind of questions you need to add for this booking or for this experience. If you have any questions that you want to write them and you can just have any different questions. I will not go into this one. And then resources, and I don't need also to mention this one right now. This means that how many guides we have, how many drivers we have, and you just need to mention this one now. You will leave it for later. And right now I think we are ready to preview it. As I preview, I just go right here, and oh, one more thing, sorry. When you upload everything, you will go right here, and you will find out that the route is not mentioned. The route doesn't get automatically uploaded. So what you need to do is make the route of this program. So the starting location, you will just pick it up from here. So I know that the starting location will be right in Riri Park. So I will mention that. Sorry. It's right here. And endpoint is right here in Rustavelli. So I will mention Rustavelli. And the waypoints are where we are going to go from A to B. Like now A is the starting point, and at this point P is the final point. So we need to add all the median points right here. So this one, the Mitechi Church. Then we go to Nari Plala Fortress. We will just follow this one, as this is our tour. So I will press save, and sometimes it uploads. If it was pressed correctly, it will get uploaded. And here it says you can activate now the program. We don't need to activate this one, it's just a test. And here are all the details for your tour. So this one, OTA, you just don't need to care about it right now. It's where you connect this one to different websites to advertise it for you. So you don't need this one right now, OTA. But the starting time is correct, as you see, from 9 and from 3 p.m. And here the pricing catalogs for adults and for children. You have different prices, and the media, the photos and the videos, rates, booking questions, and this what the passenger will need to put for each passenger. And right here is how to get there, is the meeting location and the itinerary, as we mentioned it earlier also. And these are additional things, display settings. You can just go right here and it chooses what you need to be shown. In this case we have just two things right here. And this is how we uploaded the first program. I think it didn't take time. It just takes time when you put everything on the place. So that's it. You can just press activate. And for later on you will need this right here. And the closeouts is when you have the like closed dates that you don't want to sell this program on. So you just go right there and choose your closeouts. So I think this is all what you need to know about how to upload a program. If you have any questions, write to me and I will tell you how to do it. So another thing, I find here that I have some error, so I will check what is it. I press here and it says drop off service is enabled, but none of your rates offer drop off. So right here we can add optional and submit, and in this case it will just get the mark or this sign right here. So as long as you have all things correct, you can start activating your program. Just check it like this. So these are plugged because these are options that we didn't get into, but it's fine. And here everything is mentioned to be correct, so I'll just activate this program if I want to have it on my website. If not, I'll just leave it there as a draft, so I can edit it anytime or just modify it. Thank you.